I'd like to stay, but I might have to go to start over again. I go back down to Texas, I might go to somewhere I've never been.
I would like to see the border fence built, but if Mexico is not going to pay for it,
we got to know how to secure the border because, after all,
Stage. Let's hear from the people who are
and the people say build the wall.
They said build the wall. They said two things with
if
it.
you're talking about putting it in the middle of a river, that's one thing. If you're talking about putting it on the Mexican side of the border, we physical border.
One at a time. One at a time.
I've lived by the border for almost 40 years. These countries are intertwined more than people ever imagined. Politicians get a lot of mileage out of talking hard about the border when they absolutely don't have a clue. One of my favorite environmental authors, Edward Abbey, said, "Wilderness is a place where you can still get eaten." I first came to Big Bend because I was moving out of Texas. I wanted to be around mountains. I was, an active outdoorsman. I thought, well, if there's a national park in Texas, I ought to see it because once I go up to Montana, you know what? I may never come back. And so here I am. This is a real intense place. For one, I find this place the hottest place in the summer around here and the coldest place in the winter because it's low and this cold air sinks in. And the wind can be hellacious here. The dust blows and, I suspect if you don't get your flag down when that hits, it's adios.
Has there been any renewed conversations regarding the potential building of a wall through the park?
Any comments about the wall, I'm going to go ahead and refer to that Washington office again. Here at Big Bend, we currently have a national park on the U.S. side and then protected areas on the Mexican side as well. In 2013, we were able to open a port of entry here in the park, so visitors that come to Big Bend can cross into Mexico. People go down there expecting it to be like this big commercial port of entry, and they're like, it's a rowboat? Cool.
So we got a big line over there.
Mike Davidson is one of the partners with the park. He has the commercial permits in order to run the international ferry, which is essentially a rowboat going across the river.
How they say, work if you get right.
Yeah.
The passport control is a building that has an immigration person there, and he will stamp your passport. As we cross back and forth, you're on camera. You're being monitored from a distance. There apparently are high-flying drones here along the border. Now, once you get to the Mexican side, you have the options of either walking into town, which is approximately 3/4 of a mile, or you can take a burro. People like the idea of visiting a small rural village that doesn't have any of the problems like you read about in the paper. This is one of the remotest places in Mexico. I mean, it's literally 3.5 to 4 hours to get to the next population center in Mexico. So that's pretty out there.
Why should people come to Big Bend?
You haven't figured that out for yourself yet? A few things you need to know. First of all, I like to remind folks that the wings hold the airplane up, not the propeller, okay? If that propeller were to quit turning, we're okay. The plane will still fly. It just won't climb anymore. Without our relationship with Mexico, Big Bend is another desert park, One of the things that makes it unique is the fact that we butt up against another culture in another country. The best case scenario, I think, is that we established a binational park here that allows movement between both countries. And I think we could do that easily with the border checkpoints that we have in place now.
There's an example of an international park along the U.S.-Canadian border. That's Glacier on the U.S. side and Waterton on the Canadian side.
A lot of people probably don't know, that there is an International Peace Park or what it is. This is a big chunk of wilderness here. The biggest chunk of existing wilderness in the continental U.S. is right here in this part of the country. Okay, my name's Scott Birch. I am the president and the owner of Glacier Park Boat Company. My father bought the International up in Waterton in 1977, and I spent my summers operating and running the boat. It was kind of a unique situation up there. Waterton Lake, where the boat operates, is half in Glacier National Park and half in Canada. Glacier National Park is combined with Waterton National Park. These parks were joined as an International Peace Park back in 1932. Crossing the border was very easy back at that time. But in light of what's going on in the world today, I don't know that a peace park really can exist. There are sensors now along the border. When those things get tripped, you're going to see Black Hawk helicopters, you will see search planes, fully uniformed officers with M16s and sidearms. I guess I'm very lucky to have been able to have lived at a time when it did work. And it was a very unique experience. Hundreds of thousands of people got to experience it, but times are changing.
We had that same type of a scenario here for many, many years. The crossings here were very casual. You could cross at will, and people did. I think what really impacted that was 9/11, you know, and after 9/11, when we felt the need to do something, even if we did it wrong.
I'm Robert, and I am the Texas Border Tours tour guide. We facilitate an incredible experience to customers that come to the valley for the first time. I had a customer the other day that paid to do a tour, and they just wanted to see the wall. Like, all right, saw the wall. This is all I came to see. And went back. It's like, you don't want to finish the tour? Nope. like that. They just came to see the wall. That's the only thing that's being talked about in the media, building a huge impenetrable wall that will keep people out and keep America safe. So they want to see it firsthand, what all the fuss is about. So this is a spot that a few months ago when we came here, as we drove up, there was a whole bunch of people coming across. Maybe 30, upwards of 40 people were crossing. People always ask me, do you always see this? Do you see any criminal activity, or have you seen anything? Now I can finally say, you know what? I did see some people crossing, and I did see it while I was on tour. So, and usually my response for the last 2 years is like, nope, never seen anything. 2 days later, I asked a Border Patrol agent, did you catch them? And the agent's like, no, we ended up pushing them back, but they'll try again. Which that was a bummer, because you're one of those things, you're rooting for the good guys to win. And
who were you rooting for to win?
Border Patrol. Not the bad guys, obviously.
Everybody over here, they're proud people, you know, they want to work. And you may have noticed they make all of these strange desert creatures out of wire. There are people that will bring them over to the U.S. side. People are on their honor to put money in a can. There's a little price tag on each one of them. It all goes to somebody's family helping to take care of the people here. Well, these are really creative people that'll take very small amount of resources and turn them into something of value. And, you know, it's not just about eating a meal or having a beer. You know, it's a cultural experience. I think it gives people a perspective on how much we have and how much we take for granted, and what folks that are honest and hardworking can do with very little.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Está encerrada con 3 candados y demasiada la puerta negra, porque tus padres están celosos, te tienen miedo que yo te quiera.
You know, if you listen to the news, you would think that this has to be one of the most dangerous, scariest places out here. Well, I will tell you that I have never had a crime committed against me here. I've never been assaulted. I haven't had anything stolen from me, you know. I feel absolutely safe here. Always have.
After 22 years, you probably know the park pretty well then, huh?
I think I know the park pretty well. I was one of the law enforcement rangers. I was also a medic, and I was a wildland firefighter, and so I wore a lot of hats. But my area of responsibility was the river itself. I patrolled the Rio Grande, almost 300 miles of it. The Rio Grande serves as the international boundary between the United States and Mexico. I've always thought rivers as boundaries was a very, very bad idea. I think, you know, rivers is where things come together, not where they get put apart.
No one is saying that, you know, we have a problem with legal immigration. It's the illegal part. And I wish the media would get that correct. I was born in Mexico. I do have relatives that are here in the country illegally, so I am a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to that aspect, and I realize that. The issue here in South Texas is that the majority of the land around here is private, so you can't block landowners from accessing their property. That's why you see the openings in the wall, because farmers have to get to it, they have to work the land, landowners have to get to it. You know, you can't block access to the river because there's water rights for irrigation. So it's gonna be very, very, very tricky to build 100% bulletproof fence in South Texas.
This is pretty big country. Building a wall here poses immense issues of logistics. I'm certainly not going to argue that we should not have rules at the border, there shouldn't be security, but it's not an answer to a comprehensive problem. A wall is not an answer, a wall is just a thing.
So this is where the border fence ends, right here. And then it goes 2-3 miles with no fence. And it's wide open country. So I don't know exactly what happened here. I think the government ran out of money, I don't know. But yeah, wide open. Come on in.
I'm going down to the Greyhound station, gonna get a ticket to ride. Find a big fat lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Ride till the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat. Try to hide my sorrow from the people I meet and get along with it all. Go down where people say, oh, feed the pigeons some clay. Turn the night into day. And start talking again when I know what to say.